Good morning. After finishing the halachot of one's personal Amida and the steps back and everything that's said after, now we move on to the next segment of our tefillah, and that is the repetition of the Amida. The question is, why do we do the repetition of the Amida? Who instituted it? For what reason? So, Chachamim, Anshe Knesset Agdolah, the men of the Great Assembly, the time after the destruction of the first Bet HaMikdash, while they instituted our prayers, they also instituted the repetition of the Amida. The reason for this was because, unfortunately, there were many people who did not know how to pray, whether they didn't know how to read, or they didn't have a Siddur, or they weren't able to read along or follow along. So what Chachamim did was, they instituted a repetition of the Amida. Again, the Amida being the most important part of our prayer, with the exclusion of Shema, which almost everyone, at least back then and even nowadays, most people could either know Shema off by heart or read Shema. Again, it's from the Torah. But when it comes to prayers itself, the Amida is the most important prayer instituted by our Chachamim. So what they said was, everyone should pray alone quietly, Tfilah b'lachash, and then Hazarat Hashatz, the repetition of the Amida by the Shaliach Tzibur, by the one who is leading that morning, that mincha, whether it's Musaf, there's a repetition of the Amida. So what it means is, the whole purpose was in order to help those who can't help themselves, they cannot read for themselves, so someone will say it on their behalf. The Rambam was asked, why do we need to continue doing so if nowadays we have Sidurim and everyone could read and understand? Or, he was also asked, what if you have a group of 10, 20 people, which you know each and every person, they either know the Amidah by heart or they're fully able to read it, why then do we still need to redo the Amidah? So the Rambam answered as follows. This question was actually asked to Rabban Gamliel in Masechet Rosh Hashanah while they instituted it. When Rabban Gamliel was one of the head of the Great Assembly, he was also asked that question, and he says that the merit of doing the repetition of the Amidah is primarily for those who did not pay attention and concentrate or even understand, but it's even for those who could understand but they didn't. How many people, even though we read Hebrew and we understand Hebrew, how many people actually pay attention and concentrate to every single word? The Shaliach Tzibur is able to, by redoing the Amidah on everyone's behalf, help all those who did not concentrate 100% and deliver their tefillah to its highest level. Furthermore, the Rambam says, can you find the minyan without one person who does not know how to read and pronounce the Amidah properly? There's in every minyan at least one person, at least if not more, that every single word is either understood or pronounced properly. And therefore, he ends off the Rambam that since Chachamim instituted to do a repetition of the Amidah, we do a repetition of the Amidah just as they said. What it comes out is it's very important for us to listen to the repetition of the Amidah, answer Baruch Hu V'Rach Shamo, and answer Amen, and not talk and not do other things. Yes, the Kohanim, they go over to wash their hands, the Levim help them out. Talking then is not the time to talk. If you'd like to talk, there's a door, you could talk outside. It's not a problem. Inside, during the Amidah, during the repetition of the Amidah, during the prayers, is not the place to talk, because then it ruins the concentration and it ruins what we're trying to accomplish as Chachamim instituted for us to do at that time. That time was meant to elevate everybody and help anyone who has not concentrated or read properly, and then by talking or doing other things, you are taking that power away from everyone else. So B'ezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will help us, that our tefillot will be delivered, that we will always pronounce it properly, understand it properly, but as well maintain the respect and the purpose of the institution of repeating the Amidah, B'ezrat Hashem. Tonight, Mincha.